that is not bourbon or scotch. I'm not a dark liquor person. But do want to do a little bit of a recap on the job from last night. So it was brought to me by a realtor who I've done work for one of their clients in the past. I had only met her very briefly, like 5 minutes, and just gave her my cards because we were both going separate ways on a time schedule basis. And she told me that she had 2 jobs for me. This was the first one, and the second one is a little bit more complicated. But we went ahead and gave an estimate for this one. And the client had already moved to a senior living facility, which is why it looked like the place was half empty already. There was no mattress or bed, no nightstands. There wasn't a ton of stuff in the closets, like clothing-wise, and there was only 1 love seat. Everything else was already taken to a senior living facility. So we were just getting everything else, so that way they can get it posted on the market sooner than later. Now, we went by Monday and gave a quote for it, and we were going to do it today, but I actually said, you know what, we're available this afternoon. Why don't we do it now? And everyone was like, sure. So we went ahead and started around 4:30, and we didn't finish until like 8 o'clock, which means that it was like a 3.5-hour job, which we'll get into in just a second. But it was basically a 2-bedroom apartment, 2nd floor, with a very long walk wrapped around, as you can see in the videos. And I charged for a full load and 4 sets of bagging fees, which means that I'm bagging up about 10 bags, and I charge that 4 times, which is like a $35 charge. It's basically just to help cover time and the cost of the bags. And then the volume of the bags just gets added to the volume. So we did that, and then I charged for 1 set of stairs and 1 set of a long walk. For me, a long walk is like 150 feet, give or take. And I'll talk about 2 things I screwed up on. Technically 3. Screwed up on a whole damn job. So those are the things I charged for. And don't get me wrong, that was not a complicated job at all. That was not a lot of stuff, as you saw when we did the first walkthrough, not a crazy amount of things. What sucked about it was the long walk, the extended staircase, and the even longer walk to the truck. That took the most time, 100%. And the things I screwed up on was, 1, I assumed it was going to be at least a full load, which it was, but as you saw, it was a little bit more than a full load because I really went canopied with it, and I don't like doing that. And then I even filled up a little of my truck bed as well. Now, that was stuff we were keeping because we're going to be Airbnb your house soon, so it was like perfect decor. But it's still junk being hauled away, no matter what the intentions are with it. So that still counts towards the volume. So it was probably a little closer to like a truck and a half if I didn't overstack stuff and I included the bed of the truck. But what are you going to do? So there's that. So I should have gave her a range. Like, hey, I think it's going to be like a truck to a truck and a half. Then I should have charged twice for the walk, because to get from the condo to the staircase was probably like 100, 120 feet. And then to get down to the truck is probably like 200 plus. So all in all, it was probably like 150 yards. So I should have charged twice for that. And it would have just been a little bit extra to help make up for the time difference, because that job took us like 3.5 hours. Whereas I usually anticipate on a full load taking about 2 hours. And then with the bagging, I usually do about 10 or about 15 minutes per set of bagging. So that's an extra hour. So we were like a half hour behind basically. But if I had charged a little bit extra for that walk additional, it would have probably covered it up a little bit. So a little mistake, but you live and learn. The next thing I want to talk about was the hump strap. So as you saw when I brought down that black chest, the hump strap is a moving item. You can find it on Amazon for like 20, 25 bucks. It's basically a 3.5 to 4 inch burlap strap that ranges from 10 to like 18 feet. You can usually get them like 3 different sizes. It can be super useful. So you've heard me talk about using a ratchet strap around a hand truck when you are bringing out a heavier or larger item. It helps with the overall leverage because it helps mimic an appliance dolly. And it also helps keep things from shifting to side, whether you're going through, like a bumpy terrain or maybe going downstairs. It's more protection. The hump strap can be beneficial because you can mimic that, but you can also use it in more than one way. So I'm not going to get into the details because I could talk about it for 20 minutes, but I would recommend YouTubing moving hump strap, how to use. Look at some of the examples. If you think, oh, that could really help me out or help my team out, maybe consider getting it. Like I said, they're like 20, 25 bucks on Amazon, and you can change the color so you can match your company. But it's a useful tool for how cheap it is. You can definitely get some use out of it. So we'll save that for another day. The last thing, just super side note, is I've had somebody that just opened up a donation center near me. She's basically cold calling companies and saying, hey, do you service this area? Yes, great. We just opened a donation center. We will take everything and anything that you have that is not a mattress and or is not literally just trash. So I thought that was a really good idea to call your local junk removal companies to say, hey, we're a donation placer or we're a consignment shop. Like, bring your stuff here and we'll take care of it. I just thought that was a really good idea. So I just want to put that out there in case anyone's looking to open up their own shop. Might be something useful to point out there. But that is it for me. I just wanted to do a little recap on the job, and I will see you guys next time.